What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of J Pit Fishing. Today we're out here at a pond doing a little pre-spawn bass fishing. We just recently had a cold front blow through, so we got some nice bluebird skies. So it might be a little tough today, but I'm ready to get after it. I'm sick of being inside. I want to go catch some more fish. So we're trying to go for whatever we'll bite today. Brought a little ultralight, try and catch maybe some crappie or bluegill. And, of course, we're going after those largemouth bass. So let's see what happens. So what I'm deciding to do here, I'm going to take off this swim jig that I had tied on. I'm going to grab one of these 13 fishing swim baits, and I'm going to take it and run around the edge of the pond and see if I can't get bit on a moving bait. Then maybe once I locate them on a moving bait, I can slow down and, pick up numbers. That's the plan, at least. And I'd say that's a pretty good plan if you're ever headed out to the water and you don't know where the fish are, you don't have electronics. If you're fishing from the bank, I know a lot of people like to fish from the bank, or a lot of people have to fish from the bank, so if you're fishing from the bank, it's never a bad idea to just pick up a moving bait and just run water. Fish just jumped right there. It's a good sign that there's fish here. Hopefully they decide that they want to eat a swim bait today. I mean, I'd like to get on with a jerk bait too, but with all this moss and stuff in here, it's not gonna be super easy to do. All right, got it just rigged up on a little weedless ball head. See what we can do with it. Throw it right over there next to that fish. He already ate it. Oh, he thumped it. Wow. Well, that was cool. That's the first bite I've had. Okay, well, first impression on that cast. Seems like you do kind of have to reel these a bit faster, or at least the way I rigged it. You have to reel it kind of faster to get that tail really kicking. I was reeling it kind of slow there, and I didn't like the look of that. It was just sticking right behind the bait. There's a fish though. So, sure enough, you switch up. Switch baits, and just like that, you can get bit. So, definitely not a big one, just a little guy, but, cold pre-spawn little buck bass for this pond. I'm sure he's getting ready to move up on the bank and make his little bed for his lady. All right, keep after it. There we go. He was way out there. I think that was with a little bit quicker retrieve. Once again, another small one. So, not what we're going after ideally, but at least we're getting bit, right? Another beautiful largemouth. This one's even more colored up than the last one was. Just a beautiful fish. Them largemouth bass are some of the best fish out there. Send him on back and see if we can get some more. I'm gonna reel it slow this time. I threw it out there same distance that one was that I just caught. I'm gonna reel it slow just to double check that it's not my speed. I know sometimes you can stop it this time of year, like a lot of times with swim baits, like whenever the fish are feeding aggressively, you don't even have to stop it. You can just keep it burning, keep it moving, and those fish will come unglued on it, because those gizzard shad and thread fins that they're chasing, those fish, if you've ever seen them in the water, their tails are just getting after it because they're trying to get away from those feeding fish. Whenever fish are a little slower, more lethargic, I like to, throwing a pause every once in a while, and all that swim bait does, it just heads, nose down and just slowly kicks down toward the bottom, and it can really trigger some fish to bite. Give them a little pop, just something a little bit more erratic to make them react to the bait, and not so much a feed response, more just reaction. That might be why something like a rattle trap would be good here in a minute. So I'm gonna give this probably 3 or 4 more casts. Since I've located at least a couple of fish in this area, I'm gonna stay here just for a second, switch over to that rattle trap, see if I can pick up some more fish. If I can, that'll give me some good information that maybe the rattle trap bite might be a little bit better. And if I don't get bit on it, then I'm gonna tie the swim bait back on and just figure out the cadence for it. Once I figure out the cadence, put the fish on the bank. There he is. So they still like it like just that same speed, like kind of slow, kind of fast, and they're not very deep. They're only probably a foot or 2 under the water surface, which makes sense because they're probably trying to, get warm in that sun since they're getting ready to go up there and make beds. I mean, these fish are freezing right now. Look at the gut on that guy. He's got a nice little gut on him. He's getting fed up and ready to go. The problem that is going on in this pond, like each fish is like half a pound. The main problem they got is there's just too many fish in here, not enough food. The crappie could probably, eat twice as much food as these bass can. The biggest crappie I've seen come out of here was right at 3 pounds. So the crappie really do outcompete, and the bluegill are massive as well. I've caught a 1.5 pound bluegill out of here, and there's some big green sunfish in here as well. Basically all the panfish just outcompete the bass, and the bass are overpopulated as it is. So they're kind of stunted in their growth. But, still fun to come out here and at least catch some fish. It does provide some good days with numbers at least. All right, guys, so thought about putting on a shad colored lipless. Ended up going with this, crawl pattern in gold. I'm just gonna give that a little throw out there and see what happens. Definitely puts off way more vibration than a swim bait, obviously. So it's a plus. I actually got bit on the Cinco.
I think I got bit on.
Right in the tongue. That's where you want to hook them. It's the best place to hook them, right in the tongue. He was out there a little deeper. I don't know. I feel like the Cinco bite might just be a little too slow. We'll see. That took a while to get bit. But if it's the only thing we get bit on, I'll keep throwing it. We made a little move over here. Didn't have much luck over there, so it kind of seems like these fish may be on the shallower side of this pond. I did end up catching one on Cinco, so I'm gonna run with that just for a little bit, just something a little different. See if I can get bit. I know a lot of fish like to stage up in this corner, so I might pull out the old jerk bait and throw that around a bit and see if I can't get something to react. These fish definitely seem to be in some sort of a weird mood due to that cold front yesterday. Hopefully the bite will pick up here in a minute. I don't know. Just turned off the camera and this better one bit. This is definitely the biggest one of the day. Not a giant by any means, but at least we got bit. Once again on the Cinco. Just a nice fish. Eating that, I believe this is a watermelon gold, or maybe watermelon magic. Nice little fish there. I think that's number 6 or 7 for the day, so not a whole lot, but at least we're not zeroing, you know, not blanking out here. So I guess I just need to leave the camera on, guys. I turned it off again and hooked up with another nice one on the Cinco. They seem to be a little more concentrated in this corner, at least for those casts. Not a super big one, but definitely a chunky fish. Nice and fat. Not a giant fish, but definitely a chunky one. Probably a female full of eggs. You know, just getting ready to start the new generation. That's awesome. Theoretically, I still should be able to catch them on this swim bait, and that'll help, you know, catch them faster. So we'll see how this works. This is just kind of what you have to do this time of year whenever you're trying to figure out the bite and what they want, where they're at, and just keep changing rods. That's why it's sometimes important to have multiple rods rigged up and with you, so you can just pick one up real quick and make a couple of casts, and if it doesn't work out, either move on or pick up a different rod, you know. Okay guys, I finally did it. I decided to tie on a little jerk bait, see if anything will work out. Something just like get them fired up and feeding a little bit better, you know. Definitely not the perfect setup for a jerkbait. I think this is like 17-pound fluoro, and this rod, it's kind of a weird rod. It's a Falcon lowrider, and I think it's called a Carolina lizard dragger. So it's like designed for a Carolina rig. There's one. That's a good sign right there. What I was trying to say, it's designed for a Carolina rig, but the action on it is really like, it's more like the 7-foot medium heavies that most other rods are, where you can just kind of do anything you want with it. It's kind of a really neat blank, in my opinion. The way they have the rod set up is really sweet, where it casts pretty much everything well, and is super light as well. That's a 13 fishing whiplash right there. Caught that guy first cast, so that's a good sign. If we can get them going on a jerkbait, you can load it up really quick. So I'm gonna keep going and see if we can't get some more on the jerkbait. Jerkbaits are an awesome pre-spawn lure. In my opinion, jerkbaits are just an awesome lure, period, for any time of the year. They will absolutely get bit. And the fact that that fish had the middle hook in his mouth, that's definitely a good sign to me, because that means he probably came up and T-boned that bait right on the side. So he did not want that bait getting away from him. He wasn't just following behind it. That's a big one. Or a crappie, one or the other. That might be a crappie, or I got him foul hooked. No? Man, he's fighting hard. He ate it head first, that's why. Yeah, so these fish definitely want a jerk bait. See how he had that bait head first? He came around the front of that bait and smoked it. Yeah, so we're about to get on him. That's 2 fish and 2 casts. Let's see what happens. Seems like I can work it pretty fast, at least. Yep, those 2. Yeah, it's about to get ugly. That's 3 casts, 3 fish. Finally figured it out, guys, and that is what it's all about. You just got to keep changing baits. Keep changing. Oh, he popped off right there. Got to keep changing baits, keep changing approaches till you figure out something that they want to eat. And clearly these fish are wanting to eat a jerkbait right now. or at least I'm tricking them into it. Either way, I'll take it. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here. GoPro batteries just died, but I hope you got some good information about how to figure these fish out in the pre-spawn, especially after a cold front when they can be a little bit tricky. I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and keep fishing and enjoy my time now that I've finally figured out that they want the jerkbait. I hope you guys can get out there and catch some fish for yourself before, you know, get into the bedding season and then post-spawn. Of course, there's plenty of good fishing ahead of us. Thanks for the view. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit that button, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Okay guys, well, throughout the video I told y'all that there's some big crappie in here, and I literally just recorded my outro and next cast finally stuck one of these guys. Sorry, it's a horrible camera angle. I'm trying not to get a hook in my hand.